OMV is strong even in a crisis and is preparing for a low-carbon future. In 2020, OMV has been hit by two major events. The first was more or less a price war between major oil and gas producing states, which sent the prices tumbling down to record low levels. And on the other hand, as of the second quarter of this year, also in Europe, we were exposed to the pandemic crisis and the lockdown situations, which negatively influenced our customer industries and therefore also our production levels. However, OMV has come very strong through this crisis so far, thanks to the integrated business model that OMV has between upstream, downstream and petrochemical production. This means that we have been on a stable operation all throughout the crisis, and on the other hand, we have responded with very strong measures also in reducing our Capex, in being able to optimize our operating costs, optimized by more than 200 million, and we also postponed some of our inorganic growth activities and have switched to some portfolio divestments from non-core activities to strengthen our financial position. OMV in 2020 managed still to stay on very stable and strong cash flow levels. In the first half of this year, we had an operating cash flow of 1.7 billion euros, and considering that there are investments of around 1 billion, we still have organic free cash flow, which strengthens our liquidity of 700 million for the first half of this year. Also in respect to our financial debt, we have been successful. We have reduced our net financial debt to 3.4 billion, which is about 1% of the gearing improvement compared to end of 2019 in spite of the crisis. So this brings us in a very strong and favorable position to execute now on the large acquisition of the Borealis share of 39% in addition to the 36% that we have, ending up in 75% of this very valuable and excellent company, Borealis. Borealis is on the one hand side a very successful company economically. Which means they have very strong profitability. They have been set up with also a very good participation in Middle East, in Borouge, where they have a 40% participation. They have very strong cash flows through both olefin as well as polyolefin business. But also Borealis is positioned in the competition very well. They are, together with OMV, a number one company in Europe in olefins and the number 2 position in polyolefins. And together in petrochemicals, we are among the top 10 players in the world, Borealis and OMV together. OMV is in strong financial positions. We are not in a situation where we are applying short working, nor do we tap into any of the funds for Corona aid. So we are rather, through our strong dividend payment, a supporter of the capital market and also of our shareholders. OMV is fully committed to the Paris Climate Agreement, which means that we have set already quite ambitious targets for our specific CO2 reduction. We have set targets for 2025, which we have already reached in 2020. So we have increased the ambition in CO2 reduction targets by 50% for 2025, which is a promise to reduce the CO2 emissions by 30% in our production and also to reduce the CO2 intensity of our product portfolio by 6% until 2025. In addition, we have just recently come out with a quite radical target to have a climate neutral, a CO2 neutral production as well as energy consumption in the whole company OMV. We are extremely committed to our shareholders and we are very pleased that also the capital market is committed to OMV. We have refinanced 4.5 billion euros in this year already through bond transactions as well as hybrid bond transactions. All of them have been significantly oversubscribed, which shows the trust and the interest of the financial market in OMV. And on the other hand, we were able to promise also for this year, which means for the year 2019, the same level of dividend that we had in last year, in spite of the crisis and in spite of the last year have been the record dividend in the history of OMV. We have proposed this dividend payment in our annual general meeting, and it has been accepted, and we are very happy to honor the interests of our shareholders.